What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Premier League predictions for the upcoming Premier League games this week. Game week 20. Previous game week ends this Thursday, and then the Friday is the first game for the new game week. So first up, we've got Aston Villa versus Leeds. And I've gone with a 2-1 home win to Villa in this one. Both teams, I feel like, struggling a bit. I feel like Emery's still not got his style of play down properly and get to know the team fully yet. I don't think they're at their capabilities of full capacity that they could be. And I think Marsh is a bit inconsistent with Leeds. Some days they can turn up and get a brilliant result, but then other days they'll get hammered. So it's just a consistency with them. So I'm going to edge it to Villa in this one, 2-1. Moving on to Saturday's games then, we got Manchester United against Manchester City. In the Manchester derby, 12:30 kickoff at Old Trafford. I've gone with a 2-1 away win to Man City. I know we can turn up and get a result against them on our day, but at the moment with how they're playing, I know we're in form too. So I definitely feel we could get something from the game, but we're going to have to be on our A game and prevent them and the likes of Haaland. I think it's going to be just too much for us. I'm going to go with a 2-1 away win to City in that one. And then into the 3 o'clock kickoffs, there we got Brighton, Liverpool. I'm going with a 2-2 in this one. I feel like Liverpool are starting to get a few more results now and more 3 points. But Brighton at home, I think, are strong. I think they've got the nucleus of most of the team that they've had for a few years now. The same members. And on their day, they're brilliant. So I think that they might hold Liverpool in this one. So I'm going to go 2-2. Everton versus Southampton. Both in dire need of points, especially Southampton. But I think both could potentially get relegated this year. So it's crucial for them to get points in these games like this. And I think it's going to be a fiery one because of that. Because of what's to play for and what's at stake. I've gone with a 2-1 home win to Everton in that one to scrape a result. Nottingham Forest versus Leicester. I've gone with a 1-0 home win to Forest in that one. I don't think there's a lot in it between these two. Leicester are really struggling, and Forest are as well. I know they've got a few results recently, Forest. Being at home, I expect the crowd behind them to lift them and get a result in that one. So I'm going to go 1-0 Forest. Wolves versus West Ham. I've gone with another home one, 1-0 Wolves win. I feel like West Ham are just shockingly average this season. And I can't quite put my finger on it because they've got the majority of the same players they've had for the last few years. So it's a weird one with them. Wolves at home. Lopetegui is still new there. I think that they're on a bit of a freshness in that sense. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 Wolves win in that one. And then lastly, for Sunday's games, we've got Brentford versus Bournemouth at 5:30. And I've gone with a 3-0 home win to Brentford in that one. A little bit harder to call because Bournemouth can turn up, but I think Thomas Frank and what he's doing with them at Brentford, with the players and not a lot of money, deserves huge credit. And Tony is bang on form. It's up to the debate whether he's going to be ready for that one, but I still see them winning that game even if Tony don't play. So I'm going to go 3-0 home win to Brentford. And then into Sunday's games, we've got Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. Gone with a 2-1 home win to Chelsea in that one. Palace are definitely I think they're one of the best teams to watch in the league. But in terms of results, they struggle because they struggle with the consistency. They remind me of Leeds in that sense. But I like what Vieira's doing there. They just need to get a few more points, a few more decent results, and just work on the consistency because they've got a lot of youth coming through there and a lot of talent and potential that I think can just only improve. But I've edged it to Chelsea in that one. They need a result, and I think that they'll get it in this one. So 2-1 Chelsea. Newcastle versus Fulham. Both teams having a brilliant season. What he's done at Newcastle, I think he deserves to get manager of the season because of the squad he's got, and he's not spent tons of the money that's available to him. He's bought the right players at the right time, and I think he deserves huge credit. And Silva at Fulham, I know they might have a bit of money come in now and again, but again, no one would have guessed Fulham would have been in the top 10 at this point. And he deserves huge credit too for that. So I think there could be a few goals in this one. I've gone with a 3-1 home win to Newcastle. And then lastly on Sunday, we've got Tottenham versus Arsenal in the North London derby. I've gone with a 3-1 away win to Arsenal. I don't think Tottenham will get a 3 points anyway. They may scrape a draw, but I can't see it. They're really just boring to watch. Son's having one of the worst seasons I've ever seen him have. Kane's not firing on all cylinders all the time. They leak goals and they don't score enough, and they go behind in games too much as well. So I think Arsenal are going to be far too strong for them. It's a North London derby. There'll be more fire behind it. But I think Arsenal, because of that, will turn on the form even more. So 3-1 away win for Arsenal in that one. And then on the Wednesday, we've got Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. I've gone with a 3-1 away win to Man United in that one. Now, over the last few years, Palace have been a bit of a bogey team for Manchester United. But I think because of the form we're in at the moment, I fancy us to go there and get a result. I think Rashford could get a couple again. Palace are inconsistent, like I said. They can be really tricky and difficult to beat. But I fancy us for that one. The confidence is high in the squad with the fans as well. That's why I've gone with a win in that one. 3-1 away win to Manchester United. Lastly, for this game week, guys, on the next Thursday, we've got Manchester City versus Tottenham. I don't see anything else but 3 points for City in this one again. I think that they'll run riot with Tottenham, and it might even be more than 2-0. So I'm going to go 2-0 though. Yeah, Tottenham, I think they're the worst in the league for underachieving in terms of the names and the players they have. I think they've got a bit of squad depth, but he doesn't always use it. And just in terms of game performance, on paper, they should be one of the best teams in the league. And I know they're not in the bottom half of the table, but they're playing like they are in terms of just not getting the results and the points. And there's no excuse for it for me with Tottenham, because they have the players there to do better, and they're not performing. It comes down to both Conte and the players, but I think it falls more on the players. 2-0 Man City in that one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Game week 20 coming up. I can't wait for it to start. A few cup things this last week, but I don't prefer any of that to league football. So I'm glad for the Premier League predictions to come back. I love doing the videos, and I know you guys like them too. Appreciate everyone that supports them. Make sure you share them to your friends and you're subscribing. And I'll catch you guys soon.